Hey everybody. Today I want to speak. Well, this is Barry Parker, by the way. Performing. One of my mentors, one of my coaches, talks about taking action without waiting till it's perfect. So he talks about just doing, just going, moving forward. And I've had a problem waiting till things are right. If I have this, if I have that, and before actually taking action. But the purpose of the taking action is when you start moving, things happen. You learn some things. You develop yourself. Another coach of mine mentions speaking, and you're speaking even though there's no audience initially. You're speaking for yourself to get your voice, to find out what your message is, how to say it. So, like, this podcast is raw. You know, there's mistakes. It's not polished, but it's kind of like the person that you see in the street that they look a little roughed up. You know, they don't look as civilized, so to speak. But underneath all that is a whole bunch of wisdom. They have something to give you. So my message might be in tattered clothes, or may not look, or this doesn't sound like you're a normal professional with a whole bunch of money behind it or just some time. But the idea is for me to get it out, just to get this out, and hopefully someone finds some value in it where they can grab a hold of the message that I'm giving, which is just to take action. Take action, get going, start moving, and all the other things will come. But if you wait and keep waiting and waiting till everything is perfect, and we back to perfection, you will be waiting for the rest of your life, because there is no perfection. Just go, just do it, just make it, just start the process. And that's where the movement comes. Once you start something, you start having all this unseen help. You know, you start discovering some stuff that you didn't know when you were sitting still thinking about it. But once you started moving, things started happening. You want to be a speaker, so you need to speak. You need to find some way to speak, to listen to somebody. Sometimes there's no one around. Well, speak anyway. If you're in network marketing, the idea is to talk to as many people as possible, to do your presentations. No one wants to listen to me. Give them anyway. Set an appointment up. You know, you hosting an event. No one's showing up. You give it anyway, because that message, your presentation, the fact that you performed it, that fact that you did that, you took the steps to make that happen, you're just going to get better. You're going to discover some things that you don't know, some things you do know. You're going to have some wins, you're going to have some losses, but you're doing that for the action. You have to prime the pump. I didn't live in this time, because you know, when I grew up, you turn the faucet on, the water came out. I'm happy for that. But, you know, my parents and their parents, there was a time where they had to go prime the pump. You had to start pumping because the water was down at the bottom of the well, or down, and you need pressure. And so you will prime it with a handle to build the pressure up until the water reached up to the level where the spigot was, and then you got the water. So you have to prime the pump, and that's what action takes. That's what action. When you're doing action, when you're doing it, you're priming the pump. You're getting ready for that moment when there's 100,000 people in the audience, or 100 people in the audience. You know, you learn when there's nobody in the audience. You know, you are developing when it's just you. That's where that's where the grit and grind comes. When no one wants to hear you. The singer is building their chops from one little hole while they go on tour where there's only two people in a bar. They building their chop. The comedian is out hitting all sorts of clubs, building new material. Hecklers. People are just drunk. No one hearing. but they're building their chops. And then when they're in front of 50,000 people who paid to come see them, they remember those moments. They remember, sleeping in a car, traveling from city to city. Action. So whatever you want to do, don't wait till it's perfect. Don't wait till it's either you have all your equipment. Get going. So then you learn what you need. You know what you want, but you can wait the paralysis of analysis. Just get going. Just do it. Just start it. Just prime the pump, but you got to keep going. You got to be consistent with it. So it's all about prime the pump. And just like I'm talking to you, it started off on one thing about taking action, but the theme, the name of this title of this podcast is Prime the Pump. I didn't have that when I first started. I just started speaking. And as I was speaking, that analogy of Prime the Pump came, but it came out of me taking action to start speaking. Get going. Do something towards one of your goals, one of your dreams, one of your desires that you would like. No one becomes an expert by not first being a beginner. There's a beginning, there's an end. There's all in the middle is really what matters. That's where the meat of it. That's the meat of it. What do you want to do to start it? So prime the pump, get going. Hope this helps you, help somebody. If it doesn't help you, send it to somebody else who you think it might. I wish you the best. You take care.